right, thanks for tuning in. Let's talk. Welcome to the ninth episode. I'm your host, Elena Lau, real estate broker and CEO of Union Real Estate. And then today I have Abby Nguyen-Burke with me. She works at Eastern Bank. She will be speaking with us about the PPP program and about methods of maximizing the forgiveness. Welcome, Abby.
Thank you for having me.
So let's diving into the numbers of real estate market in Boston. So for the single family market, there are 232 homes sold, a decrease of about 37% compared to last year with an average days on the market of 43 days. An average sale price of $840,000, a decrease from last year about 3%, but in terms of the median sale price, we're seeing an increase of about 4%. So as you can see here, week by week, for the number of homes sold pending, it decreased about 273 to this. There is a big drop, and then that can be attributed to the shortage of inventory. Like the demand cannot keep up with, so the number of homes cannot keep up with the demand that is out there. So you are seeing a decrease here, and then also when we just had the July 4th weekend, that can be also a factor. In terms of the median sale price, we're still seeing that it's being stabilized. There's not so much of a huge price change. For the condominium market, there are 153 condominiums, so a decrease of about 36% from last year, an average day on the market of 42 days. Average sale price is about $786,000 increase from last year, about 10%. Which is good news, and the median sale price of $595. So for the number of sale pending for the condominium, we're seeing the same factor that is going on for the single family market. In this past week, we had 222 homes that were pending. For the prices, we're seeing a minor drop of about 3%. So like I said, all these numbers, what are indicating is that there is a shortage of inventory. But what you can see in this graph about the impact of real estate showings, like around the July 4th weekend, the showings dropped, which is usually typical if you see from last year to this year, and kind of comes up back. So hopefully you will be seeing more home pending for the upcoming weeks. So this is what I got for today in terms of real estate market update. So right now I'm gonna introduce Abby Nguyen-Burke. She's the business banking relationship manager and sales and strategy trainer and vice president at Eastern Bank. She has a very extensive experience, but I'm gonna just highlight a few. She has more than 16 years working on business and community development, and she's responsible for providing business loan lines and commercial real estate mortgage for small to mid-sized businesses in the Eastern Massachusetts footprint. And then she's also the 2020 area Boston Vice President, President-elect. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here and to join you.
Awesome. So Abby, what you brought for us today in terms of the PPP, any news about that update?
Oh my gosh. You want the update? So we are now in round 3 for PPP origination. So we thought that PPP origination was going to end on June 30th, but there was still a significant amount of money in the bank, about over $100 billion still left in that stimulus package, the CARES Act, for small businesses. So it's got, the Senate and the House extended to round 3 until August 8th. So you have still time for small business owners, entrepreneurs, 1099s, K1s, you can all still apply for the PPP origination side. And then the other update is now PPP forgiveness is open, but a lot of the banks are still working on their portals to take the forgiveness piece of all the audits and the financial information that we need. But we are waiting on Treasury and SBA for some processing guidelines, as well as where they would put the portal of collecting all their financials. So only one or two banks are actually open to taking in the forgiveness side right now. We are probably expecting end of July to start ours.
End of July. So how can we prepare for that forgiveness? What kind of documentation are we expected to show?
Yes, for sure. So a couple of things that change because this process, this product is ever changing. What originally was an 8-week time span is now a 24-week time span for you to use those expenses. And then the other change was from 70. So you were allocated to use expenses up to 75% for just payroll, but now you only need to use up to 60% for payroll, because a lot of small business owners were having a hard time, especially late April and early May, to get their employees back in, because they might have not, there's different states and territories might not have opened up for business for phase 2, phase 3. So they were having struggles with allocating up to that percentage for payroll. So now that percentage has decreased to 60%. So for you to show the payroll side, you can just do the same on the origination, is give us a summary, a monthly payroll summary statement of the time span that you used. So the 24 weeks. So anywhere between 8 to 24 weeks. And then the other items that you can allocate for the forgiveness side is your mortgage interest, your rent, and your insurance payments, benefit payments, items like that. And so we would need the line item, the P&L, and or the billing statements.
Okay, so for all of that, if say that I prepay the insurance, can I show that, or it has to be incurred during the PPP period?
It has to incur and be paid during that PPP period. So
okay.
While you were smart to prepay your insurance, unfortunately, it has to be an expense line item out of that time frame.
Okay.
But so the House and the Senate took a summer break until the 17th. They're going to come back next week, and we are forecasting, hoping that they will meet to renegotiate a couple things, a couple more changes. And so some of those changes might be what type of documentation, the process, but there is discussion of them maybe setting a minimum amount that is automatically forgiven, so that you might not have to do paperwork on that. But then also they might discuss on people who had gotten round 1 early on, and then they didn't know if they could spend the money within that 8 weeks. Then they had paid it off during the safe harbor timeframe. So you might be able to then reapply now and or apply for more money. So that is probably going to be a couple more updates for next week when our elected officials come back from their break. And so stay tuned and read up on some of the headlines from the Treasury and from the SBA.
All right, those are great news. So how about, is there any way to get full forgiveness?
So the ways are, so if you, just for quick math, if you got a $10,000 loan and you were able to pay yourself and your staff all through those 24 weeks and paid out 10,000 fully in payroll, that would be automatically forgiven. All you have to do is show that payroll summary statement. But say you only were able to pay $6,500 in payroll, then you would have to show the other $3,500 on allocations of, rent, mortgage interest, insurance payments, benefits, things like that.
I see. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go into Facebook and then see what audience have for questions. But is there anything else that you wanna share with us in terms of PPP that we might not have talked about
Yeah.
yet?
So if you go into the SBA Treasury site, there are two types of applications on right now. There's a long form and then an EZ form. I think you should download those and use those for reference. Don't spend a lot of time filling them out, only because the majority of the banks like us, if you received your origination, on an online platform, we're going to do the forgiveness side on an online platform. So you don't have to fill out the paper version. The online platform will have all those questions. So you can use that as a reference of all the information, all the questions that you will be asked. And then the other thing is you have to give the forgiveness side, you have to go back to the same bank that did your origination. So you can't go, if you got your origination from Bank of America, you can't come to Eastern Bank to do the forgiveness side. So you should be receiving a lot of communication from the bank that you got the origination from to see what their timeline is and when their online portal opens.
Okay. And your online portal at Eastern Bank, you mentioned estimate about end of July.
Yes, yes. So we're waiting on when the elected officials come back, and then we're waiting to see if there's any updates when they come back. And then if there's not any updates, then we hope to open that portal up on the end of July. If there are significant changes, then we might have to delay it a week or two.
I see. Okay. So question has started to come in. So Richie Wong, hello. So his question is, do finance payments toward a company truck count as a qualified expense for PPP?
No.
With some hesitation.
No, not for, unless you're living in that truck and that that truck is your office space and somehow you can declare it your office space, but it's really just your lease payments and your mortgage interest if you own the space.
Oh, I see. Okay. Mm-hmm. Thank you. All right. So what other things we should be look after? Today is like the last day to submit your taxes.
I know. So for a lot of people who have not done on the origination side yet, and you're a 1099 or you're a K1, you're a DBA, you really need to provide at least a draft of your taxes, but really your 2019 taxes when you do the origination side. So I would do your taxes today.
Last day.
Yep. And then when you do your origination, make sure that you don't necessarily need to open up a separate account to put those funds in, but you should open up a separate line item on your QuickBooks so that you can track those expenses and be able to do a quick P&L when you're doing the forgiveness side.
Oh, that's a good point. I have to do that.
So just tracking wise for yourself and tracking wise for the banks. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing is that when you do the forgiveness side, the bank technically is the auditors for the forgiveness side as well. So we take all the information in, we review it, and then we forward it to the SBA. And the SBA is counting on us to really review those expense items, the line statement, and it meets all the criteria. Mm-hmm. So it's really hard for the banks to answer some of the questions where it's, will you take this? Will you look at that? Will you qualify this? Because as an auditor, we can't answer the questions for you. We can't guide you to what we would approve or not approve. So that might be a harder side of the conversations.
Right, especially when things keep changing as well for everybody.
Yeah.
So Martin has this question. Is Eastern Bank serving people that are not current clients of your bank?
Yes. Yes, we opened up non-customers on early stage of round 2. So we are happy to help on any customers, customers and non-customers throughout our footprint. So if you need help, our website has all the information, has an online portal, and then you can always reach out to me or any of your branches that are near your house and near your business.
Cool. So he has one more question. He's asking, what is the current turn time from the moment someone applies to the PPP until they receive the funds?
If you provide us with all of the information that is needed and the application, the turn time within application to funding is 24 hours.
That's very fast.
Yeah. Yes. So we've got people that are doing that they're solely just looking at originations, and then we've got people on the funding side, and we have the online platform, which makes everything very quick and automatic.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right. I don't see any more questions coming. So anything else that you want to add, Abby?
No, just, I think while the time span for the forgiveness side, you actually have quite a long time for the forgiveness side to do the processing. But I can imagine when the banks start opening up their portals for the forgiveness that it might be a little bit crazy for your banks. So I would just say be patient to your bankers. They might be your best friends forever. So be patient to them, and they will get you the forgiveness side.
All right. So I saw one more question coming in from Martin. Can you give us an idea of how your bank is calculating the loan amount?
Oh, okay. So it is just so if you are a sole proprietor and you do a Schedule C, it is your line items of wages and salary, plus benefits and insurance, plus your net income, so the bottom line. So if all those add up to $100,000, you divide that by 12 and multiply it by 2.5, and that is the maximum loan amount that you would get.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, Abby. So if people wanted to contact you, what is the best way to reach you at?
Oh, definitely emails and phone calls would be great. So my email is my first initial .Nguyen-Burke, my last name, at easternbank.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So if you have any more questions to our audience, then you can feel free to contact me. My contact information is right down here. Or if you want to connect with Abby, I will be more than happy to connect you with her. So for our next speaker, Ivan Muniz will be coming back to speak to us. The topic will be about the law of attraction and then how powerful that is, especially during this time. So stay tuned for more information. He will be on next Wednesday, same time, same channel. All right, thank you so much for today.
Awesome. Thanks, Elena, for being an awesome host.
Thank you, Abby.